Good evening. As they say, it's better to be late than never. We were experimenting with a program on my computer, and then it was playing up. So I decided to use a fantastic studio called AMAZE TV. And being the first time they're trying to put things together, as I got here about an hour ago, and the studio was, they were obviously under pressure. But thank you for waiting. Thank you for joining, and thank you for your patience. For those on my Facebook page and on Instagram, and on YouTube, click on the link. When you see AMAZE TV, that is what you should click on. They will also be sending a message on my page that click on the AMAZE TV link. Tonight we are talking of leading your generation, and Bishop has been waiting for some time to be able to get on the program. I want to sincerely apologize to him and everyone who has been waiting because we've been preparing for this. But, you know, this is the world of technology. Technology can, you know, it can work for you, it can work against you. But we are not fast by that. The devil is a liar. What the Lord wants to do, the people he wants to touch tonight, he will touch them. I believe he will touch you. I believe the hand of God is upon your life. Tonight we want to talk on maintaining parental legacy. Maintaining parental legacy. What we have seen, I grew up in a town called Ondo in Nigeria, and there was a rich man very close to where we live. He built a lot of industries, a lot of companies, in our town. He did a lot, and but what happened was that his children, the moment he died, they started buying expensive cars. They sacked workers who were loyal to their father, who were telling them that, look, this wasn't how your father operated. This wasn't how he wasted resources, but they did not listen. And before you know it, all the businesses collapsed. And the children started begging for bread, for money, to have cigarettes, even to eat. Their father was very, very rich. They went to private schools. And we have seen it around the world, how big, great institutions will be built by parents, and children will mess it up. But we can see someone like Joel Austin, when his father left a ministry, he took it to the next level, and he pastored one of the biggest churches in America, and he has made a great impact. We can see the son of Bill Graham, Pastor Bill Graham, what he did. I'm not just talking of churches tonight. I am talking of men and women who have labored very hard to raise their children, even to do well, sponsor them to school, paid a lot of money to give them good education, and the children ended up not doing anything, even with the education they had, even worse than people that did not have education. So tonight, as we'll be talking to our bishop who has been waiting patiently today, and the system is different from the one we are used to. So we have been trying to connect all sorts of gadgets, all sorts of PIN number. This is how to join. This is how to do this. This is how to do that. And you know, time flies when you are under pressure. Time flies when you are under pressure. But when you want time to fly, time will sit still, stand still. So I think tonight, it wasn't the time that was flying. We were the one under pressure. The idea behind this 3 days program is to talk to leading men about what we can do in our generation to lead. And when we are talking of leading, we are not talking of being the boss or ruling with iron hand. No, we are talking of how to serve our generation. A great leader will be a servant leader. So that is what we are trying to explore. So we will be talking to the son of Archbishop Benson Idahosa today. Tomorrow we will be having Dr. Sam Adeyemi, and on Wednesday we will be having Eben. So young people, everyone should come around, men and women who want to leave their footprints on the sands of time. We have seen children that were raised well, trying to be like those who should be trying to be like them, trying to copy people that should be emulating them, looking at them and following their footsteps, because they don't know what it means to be on that other side. Many people have talents. They wasted it because of peer pressure. They want to be known. They want to, but you don't crave for popularity. You work towards it. You don't look for cheap popularity. You don't want to come to prominence on the cheap, because it doesn't last. It comes here and it disappears. So you have to build something that will last. As a minister, as a pastor, as a professional, as parents, let us build. Let us build with patience. Let us build with commitment. Let us build with dedication. Let us build with vision to see that we are going somewhere. We want to go there. We want to reach there. This is the plan. This is where we are going. This is what we want to do. When you are going to build a great institution, it may not take off the ground early. Don't be in a rush. Don't try to be like others. Don't try to go out of the faith. Don't try to go and join the occult. Things that will grow takes time. Many people became great today, but if you go and look at their history, they have been trying for 20 years. They have been trying for 30 years. So don't try to build a Rome in a day or in a year. It's just like building a brand. It takes time. So, and when by God's grace, your parents leave something for you, maybe it's a business. Maybe it's to manage properties. Maybe it's to manage an institution. You must build it. You must take it to the next level. And if you cannot take it to the next level, you must maintain it well. You must maintain it well. I don't think there's a better person to talk to than Bishop Benson, Bishop Philip Idahosa, who is the son of one of the greatest men that has ever lived in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. He died before he turned 60, but the whole world is still talking about him 22 years after he had gone. I pray that the Lord will help us to leave a great legacy, and for our children also to do well, to not go on the frolic, to not follow bad examples, to not try to be like people that should try to be like them. I am praying that as parents, we will have the mind of God to raise our children well and to instill into them the necessary uh, uh, skills, temperament, character, nature that will cause them to grow well. I believe we should be having a bishop shortly, and unless this TV station want to break records, that they kept giants waiting all night, I believe we should be on to him in a minute. So as we are here tonight, I want us to know that there is a lot happening in this generation. Many people are failing. Many people are falling out of faith. Many people are abandoning their goals. Many people are trying to be like people that should be like them. It's like a ministry. You see someone start a ministry, and in a few years it has grown, and then it has gone down. But you see people who start a ministry, and it takes years for them to grow. But by the time it's sprung up, it becomes unstoppable. So I believe that God is taking us somewhere. We are going from strength to strength, from power to power. It is my dream, it is my vision that together we can build something that will last beyond our own time, and that will transcend even our generation. I want us as parents to think very well that the way we are raising these children, will they be able to maintain anything? Are they maintaining their room? Are they desirous of growing, of having a good education? Are they hungry to build a career? You start seeing that. Or are they looking for cheap publicity? Are they looking for easy money? Are they trying to be like others who doesn't have what they have? We say that all the time. So I am saying to you tonight that we have to be steadfast in building. Whilst we are alive, also I believe that we should lead the way in showing the world how to do things properly. How to do things properly. And then it is what we have done properly that we can pass on to the others. But it's not usually easy to do that. Not very easy, but with time, we get there. I believe that the hand of God is coming upon everyone under the authority of my voice tonight, to build something. I believe there is grace in this house. There is grace on this program. There is grace in the Lord Jesus Christ to take us to a higher height, to help us, to let you know that God Almighty has really prepared something great for us. There is a lot in stock for our life, a lot in stock for our family, a lot in stock for our ministry. I've seen a lot of people build ministries, and their children takes over and they ruin it, and they mess up everything. I've seen people build businesses, and their children will take over and destroy it. I've seen people that we come over into something that their father spent their entire life building, and they will waste the estate. So I want to believe that God is laying something on your heart. God is laying something in your spirit tonight. That your firstborn, is he acting well? Is he lazy? Or is he active? Does he want to do anything? That your secondborn, doesn't want to do anything? Is he lazy? That your last child, is he doing something? Or is he lazy? You have to know. I remember when we went to our elder sons, our parents' evening many years ago, when he was in primary school. The head teacher, who had been the head teacher for 30 years, said, listen to what he said. He said, you look at these children, he said, if there's anything you don't like in their life, change it now. If there's anything you don't like in your eldest son's life, change it now. In your second child's life, I said, change it now. In your youngest child, change it now. He said, don't think they will grow up and change. She said, they will just become a bigger picture of what we are seeing now. A bigger picture of who they are now. And it is true. We saw some of our friends when we were in school. They were trans. They didn't want to study. They were always stealing and fighting. Almost all of them are dead now. And they are not even 60. They are dead. Many of them never got married. They were just drinking and drinking and drinking, and they wasted their life. But I can tell you, they had always been like that. And every child, under the authority of my voice, because I asked parents to bring their children here tonight, so they can hear from Bishop Feb Idahosa, who they are still trying to connect, because the TV station is performing signs and wonders tonight. And I am just praying that the grace will come upon them to come on. Now, the grace will come upon them to be able to at least break the barrier. I know that when God wants to do something awesome, Satan will try. But we are now fast by that. Am I not preaching to you now? Am I not talking to you now? Am I not saying things to you that so what I want to say to us is that we should have that desire, that passion, that hunger to build specifically. What some of us leaders do is we spend time building other people without building our home, without building our family, without building our own children. And so a pastor said to me recently that most of the children he pastors are sons and daughters of pastors who went astray, who went to prison, who became criminals, who became drug addicts. I pray that our children will not be like that. They will not go astray from the presence of Christ. They will not move away from the faith. They will not turn away from the faith. They will not disappoint God, and they will not be a disappointment unto us. I want to talk to parents, especially those of us in the Western world who say whatever they like, whatever they want to do, whatever they want to do. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Every man or woman must be under authority. The day you take yourself under authority, out of authority, you are about to be lost. Destiny is about to be lost. It doesn't work like that. Because it takes discipline to lead in this generation. It takes discipline. It takes humility. It takes character to lead. It takes character to do well. It is not easy. Many of us have been through untold pain. I say to people, today, people see me at this level. I'm coming, you are a lawyer, you are a pastor, you are an author, you are on TV, and people look at you and say, oh, you are lucky, you are fortunate. You know, no, I was raised by a single parent. I used to carry load on my head to the farm for 7 miles, 8 miles, for years. Until I left home at the age of 19. I used to hawk goods. I used to hawk bread and banana and oranges before going to school in the morning. I used to walk to go to school barefooted. I was once a houseboy to an Indian couple in our hometown. After leaving primary school, I didn't go to secondary school immediately because they could not afford to pay my school fees. I had to go and work as a house boy to be able to pay the first year in the secondary school. I was the one that paid. How old was I then? How old was I? I think I was about 12. But I remember the money the Indian couple paid me for the first 3 months, paid my school fees for the first year. And the last one they paid me, they used it to buy shoes and some books for me. So the way we are raising our children today, will they be able to stand the test of time? I said, will they? The way you are raising your children, will they be able to face the challenges of life? Children that easily give up, they are easily fed up, they are easily tired, they are easily, they don't want to continue with the conversation. But in the world, it's a word of conversation. It's a word of communication. It's a word of dialogue that we have to continue to talk. I look at the Mr. Cummings recently, and the whole country was against him. And they said, he said this, a war food. But as an advocate, I was looking at him. I was looking at his confidence to come out and say, well, yes, I did it because it was what I taught on that occasion, at that period, because of the pressure I had to face. He didn't run away. He came and gave an explanation. Whether he was truthful or not truthful was another thing, but he came out. We have to be able to talk to our children. We have to be able to raise them. We have to be able to talk to them, to say, well, do this, do this, do this, and this is how to do it. We have to share our experience on life with them. We should not be afraid to let our children know that what they are doing is right or what they are doing is wrong. My mother told me, while growing up, that if you don't listen, I pray that you will not remember my words with tears tomorrow. But she said there are 2 types of tears. Tears of sorrow and tears of joy. Tears of joy for children that listen to their parents and they follow instruction. Tears of sorrow to those that did not listen. I pray that our children will listen. That God will give them the ears. That God will give them the mind. That God will give them the heart of understanding to know that, that they have to listen to what the elders are saying, because most elders are wise. You may be more educated, but they are wiser. You may have more money, but they are wiser, because they have seen educated people who went down. They have seen people who are very, very wise and intelligent who went down. They have seen people who had money and became bankrupt. But may that not be our portion. I just want us to know that leading your generation is a task. In leading, we have to serve. When you look at the prime minister, he's the leader, but he's serving. He's a servant. You look at the president of America, or the presidents of the European countries, African countries, they are servants. They were put there to serve the people. And that's why they come out and they address us from time to time that this is what we are doing, this is what we have done, this is what we can do, you can do. And I want to challenge you, as you are listening to me tonight, are you raising your children well? Do you know what they are doing? Are they accountable to anyone? Do they have the fear of God? Do they have the fear of the parents? Do they respect and honor their parents? Or they just want to do their will? You have to let them know what the end might be, what could happen at the end. Many people who have had great opportunities and they missed it because along the way They face peer pressure. They want to do what others are doing. But you will find out that the children that goes on to lead their generation are those that are reserved, are those that are disciplined, are those that are not foolish enough to want to be like others. As a result of that, they were able to lead their generation. Let us look at the life of Barack Obama, the first black president of America. They look for his picture everywhere. They look for him for anything they can say he did wrong, any wrongdoing on his part. They found nothing. So anyone under the authority of my voice, whether you are an adult or a child and you want to lead your generation, you have to be careful. You have to mind what you post on social medias. You have to mind. I believe it was my friend Reverend Victor Adeyemi. He said, these young girls of nowadays, do they know what they are putting on social media that it can destroy their career in the future? He said, do they know that what they are exposing out there could bring them down in future, that people could use it against them when they have gotten to the top? So we have to be careful what we do on social media, how many people we abuse, how many people we attack. People are watching, and they are keeping a record of it, and they will use it against you in the future. So we have to be civil when we come on social media. It's a place of relationship. It's not a war front. And if you go on somebody's page and you are attacking them, you don't know what you are doing, because you don't have to be there. It is their page. So what I want to say tonight is that I want you to know that you can do great things in this generation. You can lead your generation. You can be the best, but it has to be in the mind. You have to desire to do it. You have to be hungry. You have to be, intentional. You have to be patient. You have to be humble and know that, look, hey, I want to do this, and this is how I'm going to do it. I want to achieve this. This is what I'm going to do it. Believe me, things get difficult as life goes on. Some battles and some troubles you will start in your 30s, and it will last till the age of 70. It will last till you die. So this generation have to be careful. If you want to lead, if you believe that you have a future, you have to be very careful, because what you sow is what you will reap. When you think that, oh, you can do what you like, and tomorrow people will do what they like to you, and it will be worse. So what I'm trying to say to us tonight, before Bishop comes on, is that we have to be intentional about leading our generation, and it comes through service. If you are in that church, if you are in that organization, serve. Jesus said, whosoever wants to lead must serve. It's not about wearing nice suit. It's not about wearing living in a big house or driving a big car. Those things just come along when you work hard. But the real thing about life is in service, helping others to succeed, raising others to fulfill their destiny. On my way to the studio this evening, one man called me and said he had never worked for in his life since he turned to an adult. I just met him at a conference. He greeted me and he said, can he have a word? And I spoke to him. He said he had a mental illness. So that as a result of that, he cannot do anything. He can't walk. His life can't move forward. I said, well, I counseled him and I prayed with him. Today, he walks with the court. And he's become a boss there. So this evening he called me. He said, you know what? You changed my life. He said his life was going nowhere, but that I changed his life. I didn't change his life. He changed his life. Because when I spoke to him, he could have ignored me. When I spoke to him, he could have said to me that I don't want to hear you. I'm not going to work. I'm not going to listen to it. I'm just going to sit on this medication and waste life. But today, when he spoke to me, I was so happy. I was driving and I parked. I parked and to just say hello, to put him on video camera and say, wow, let me see your face. You are now working in the court and they have promoted you and promoted you. That life would have been wasted. That life would have been wasted if he had not listened. Are you that type of person that believe that, oh, I want to do what I want to do? I have people who have done that, and they wasted their life. They died prematurely. May your life not be wasted. May you not die prematurely. I look at a lot of young people today, and their role models are weird people. They are people that have no track record. They have no education. They are going nowhere. And that is the type of people some people want to emulate. That is the type of people want to follow. So we should try the same thing in ministry. We may be there that we want to be the T.D. Jakes of this world. Have you read the story? We want to preach like Pastor Adeboye of Redeem. Have you checked out their story? We want to be like Creflo Dollars. Have you checked out his story? So, what you need to understand is that necessity is laid on us. Necessity is laid on us to build slowly, to build consistently. I look at one man recently, one pastor in London. He said some years ago, he took some children, about 40 of them, to Oxford University. And he raised them. He taught them. He helped them with their assignment. Today, most of those children are graduates from some of the best universities around the world. He built something. He built something into those children. And they are affecting their generation. I look at the young people in our church. They are moving from grace to grace, from glory to glory. They are just moving on. They are doing well. Many of them, almost all of them, are graduates. And the ones that are coming behind them, they want to do something with their life. They don't want to take a gap year or drop out of school altogether. So, what I'm trying to say to us is that we need to build consistently. We need to build with patience. We need to build with humility. We need to build meticulously. Life is so delicate. We need to build. We build with humility. I look at it today, when I say pastors, even my clients, when I address them, I say, sir. Good morning, sir. People call me on the phone, sir. And they'll be saying, sir, you are talking to me. I say, I know. It has become my nature. Why? God resists the proud. He gives grace to the humble. We have to train our children not to lose their humility. Once the humility is gone, there is no future for them. So when you see the people at the top, they use sir all the time. They use sir all the time. They use sir. Recently, I met a man who may become the president of Nigeria in the future. I met him, and when he saw me, he said, "Good evening, sir." I said, "Good evening, sir." And every time throughout our meeting, he used "sir" more than 20 times. Sir, sir, sir. If you want to lead your generation, if you are a woman, honor the woman that you meet in your journey. If you are a man, honor the men and women that you meet on your journey. You cannot bypass humility and get to honor. If you forget everything I will say tonight, you cannot bypass humility and get to honor. It is impossible. It does not work like that. So I want you to know that tonight, this is one of the lessons you are learning on leading your generation. Also, we have to know that you have to serve and learn the trade and know what to do properly before you skip the journey. I've seen a lot of people, they are in a ministry, but because they saw the suit of the pastor and the way he's addressed, they wear a nice suit and they drive big cars, and many people, they rebel. They go and set up ministry and it collapses. And they struggle for life. I remember a man of God who was serving in a ministry, and then he was there, and they made him a deacon, he became an elder, and before you know it, he left and went to hire someone to ordain him. So they ordained him, he set up the ministry, and when he set up the ministry, it did not work. It failed. And he said maybe he wasn't ordained properly. They ordained him again, and then he failed. And he committed suicide. He killed himself. But that was unnecessary. They that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. So in leading your generation, one of the things you have to do is you have to be patient. 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 You have to know that it takes time. I remember it was 2 Sundays ago that we did our Sunday online service at the church, and I played a song from my first gospel album. And people were saying, "Oh, so you are a musician?" I said, "Yes, that was where I started 22 years ago. The album was released in 1999. I think 21 years ago, 1999. The second album was released in 2000, 20 years ago. Now, look at when I started manifesting, after 20 years. So it takes time to build. It takes time to build. It takes time to build properly. I think I'm just going to bypass the system of the TV station and go live and direct with Bishop, which will be easier on Facebook. So don't go away. I will be back in 2 minutes. Don't go away. I'll be back in 2 minutes. So the first part of the program is being rounded up now. I will come back in 2 minutes to connect with you. So thank you for joining the program and staying with me and being patient with us because the devil knows that you are going to hear a lot from Bishop tonight. But thank you for joining, and I'll be back shortly. Thank you.